Welcome to Out of Bounds. In this video, we go from Macau to Zhuhai via the world's busiest border crossing. Let's go. Although Macau is tiny in the physical sense, it occupies a significant place in regional and even world history. Originally a small peninsula and a number of islets off the southern coast of the Ming Empire of China, what is today known as Macau was first visited by Portuguese navigators in the 16th century. The Portuguese had a series of both clashes and dealings with local Chinese officials. Later, they were granted a lease in Macau to dry their goods on land and use the territory as a trading port. For centuries, various political, economic, religious, and military forces converged here in a kind of gray zone, where China legally held sovereignty, but the Portuguese administration managed many day-to-day aspects on the ground. In 1871, the Portuguese erected a new border gate, or Portas do Cerco, to serve as a practical boundary marker. The Sino-Portuguese Treaty of 1887 further stipulated perpetual occupation and government of Macau by Portugal, but none of the treaties had formally specified the exact borders of Macau. After Macau's restoration to China in 1999, its border came under the jurisdiction of the Chinese government and was maintained under the one country, two systems arrangement. The Chinese State Council ordered a slight modification of the northern limits of Macau in 2015, granting a small slice of land behind the Portas do Cerco Arch to Macau to accommodate buildings that house modern border crossing facilities. That is where this storied border stands today. Let's see how it works. Many casinos in Macau run free shuttle buses from their resorts to Portas do Cerco. If you're near one of the casinos, that's a hassle-free way to go. Many northbound bus routes also go to Portas do Cerco. Just be ready to pay the exact fare, as the buses do not give change. You may of course grab a taxi as well. Regardless of how you go, be prepared for plenty of stop-and-go traffic through Old Town Macau's narrow streets. We're taking a bus from Pont 16. Even before getting on, you can already begin to feel the waves of people heading north. The staff was nice enough to tell everyone to get off at Barbosa Avenue for the border. The bus ride took around 20 minutes. Barbosa Avenue station is a couple of blocks south of the plaza in front of Portas do Cerco. At this point, you don't really need to look down at the phone for directions. Just follow the crowd and we'll lead you there. After walking past dozens of shops and pharmacies, we arrived at Portas do Cerco Plaza, which has a pair of 200-meter-long covered corridors connected to the border crossing building. As you approach the border, you can see the historic 1871 arch standing on the right. The crowd is an absolute torrent by this point. The capacity at Portas do Cerco is no joke. It can clear up to 500,000 people per day and regularly clears north of 130 million people annually. For context, Macau's entire population is only about 700,000. In the departures hall, there is an insane number of e-channels and manual counters. They are actually not all arranged in a straight line, but forms corners to increase the number of channels in a given space. In this setup, the crowd almost always moved at a good pace, and there was little stopping and waiting. Once you leave the Macau border crossing building, you now enter the Gongbei Port of Zhuhai in mainland China. There is a long series of corridors that takes a few minutes to walk through. Luckily, these corridors have covers that shield travelers from the elements. There is even a large duty-free shop, The actual border crossing building of Gongbei Port is even larger than its Macau counterpart, and there are many arrival halls, so the crowd feels somewhat less jam-packed. Note that if you travel on a non-Chinese passport, you may need to fill out a paper arrival card when entering mainland China. After mainland Chinese CIQ, you clear into a large square in the heart of Zhuhai. Here, you may turn around and fully appreciate the scale of Gongbei Port. The openness of the square is refreshing, though admittedly, signage and directions here are not the best. Zhuhai Railway Station is located immediately west of Gongbei Port and provides access to regional destinations. There are a number of bus stations to the east and west of Gongbei Port as well. In many cases though, taxis may just be your best bet. There is a taxi stand on the east side of the square. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe for more border crossing and travel content. Thanks for watching.